Hello and welcome to our webinar. We're going to give everybody a couple more minutes to get signed in. Those of you that are already signed in, let's take a moment to look at your controls for the webinar. In the upper right-hand corner is your control box, and there should be a place there where you can either enter a question or a chat comment. So I'd like you to test this out. You're muted, but I want you to be able to ask me questions. So go to that box and answer this question for me. What is your favorite outdoor space? It could be a place that you like to go on your own. It could be a place that you like to go with your family, or a place that you remember from your childhood. So take a moment to answer that question, and we'll see what kind of answers we get. Okay, Celeste says that she likes to go to a shaded park. Yes, those are a nice break from our normal climate in this council. I agree with that. Do you have a park nearby that you go to often, Celeste? Melissa likes to go camping. That's good to hear. So again, if you're just joining us, take a moment to go to the control box up in the right-hand corner, find the place where you can ask a question, and tell me what your favorite outdoor space is. Sagecrest, is that the name of the park, Celeste? It sounds really nice. I'm not sure what part of the council you're in, but I'm sure it's a great place to take a break. Karen likes to go to the beach. We have riverside beaches within our council borders. That's about the closest you can get within a couple of hours drive. And of course we have White Sands. That's all beach. Yes, White Sands is another good choice, Tony. Okay. Well, oftentimes people register for these webinars, but they can't actually take part in it, and they hope to watch it later. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Again, thank you for joining us. My name is Maria Ehlers. I'm the Membership Director for Girl Scouts of the Desert Southwest. And this is our OWL, our online workshop of learning. And the topic is Take It Outside, Creating the Best Girl Scout Experience. If at any time you can't see the screen or you have audio problems hearing me, please put something into the question box to draw my attention to it. So our objectives today are to clarify these questions: why your girls should get outside, how they can get outside, where you can get them outside, and who can help you to do that. We get volunteers from a wide variety of backgrounds, and some of you are longtime campers, but others are new to this and didn't have any kind of outdoor experience growing up. So why take girls outside? You know intuitively that kids need fresh air and sunshine, and you'll be happy to know that research backs up your intuition. The following information on the next few slides is from a report from the Girl Scout Research Institute called More Than S'mores. You can get this report online at the national website, girlscouts.org, just by typing s'mores in the search box. I recommend that you go ahead and search it and read through it at some time because it's got some really amazing information in it. One of the reasons that kids need to get outside is for social development. Nature and the stimulation is amazing because it gets them to interact with each other. It helps them to cooperate, to communicate. They learn a lot of problem solving. Confidence is one of the big reasons that we want to have girls get outside. Outdoor spaces support physical play, and so many girls are raised to be very self-contained and behave themselves and be very polite. We want to give them a chance to kind of break loose and get crazy once in a while, and outdoors is the place to do that, not indoors. So you want to give them an opportunity to get loud, to get messy, to get really physical. And that physical movement is going to increase their confidence. And then there's focus. This is a key point, that anytime you want to get the kids to focus, you want to give them a nature break, because time in nature promotes focus and attention, and it inspires their creative reasoning. I'm getting a question from someone who I think is having problems, and she asks, anyone? Yes, we're here. Can you, let me send out a message to her. Okay. Give me just a moment to clear this up so that she's able to participate. Everybody should be muted. She's trying to call in on a cell phone and it's not working for her. Okay. I apologize for that, but we want to make sure that people can participate. All right, so what happens if girls don't get outside? Well, they don't get those benefits that we just talked about, the focus, the confidence, the leadership skills, and they actually don't enjoy Girl Scouts as much. This is one of the findings of the More Than S'mores report. So to illustrate that, GSUSA got together with some very experienced volunteers from across the country, and they created an interactive learning tool for you. It's really a lot of fun. What you want to do is you want to go to girlscoutuniversity.girlscouts.org, gsuniversity.girlscouts.org, and look at the bottom where it says Featured Resources and click on Venture Out. It's a flash game that you play online, and it's taking you through the scenario of being a troop leader with a bunch of active brownies. And what I want you to do is when you play this game, I want you to play it twice. The first time, go through and give your natural answers and see the outcomes that are presented to you at the end of the game. The second time, I'd like you to go back and put in the opposite choices of what you really would have picked the first time and see what sort of results come out from the game. It's really surprising in some ways and not surprising in others when you see the types of results that you'll get. Also on this website, as part of the game, there's a lot of great anecdotes and tips from real troop leaders across the country about their personal experiences in this process. So I'm going to recommend this very highly, whether you are an experienced leader or not. It is designed specifically for those people that are a little bit worried about taking their girls outside. So this is really designed for new leaders that don't have an outdoor background. So if you're an experienced leader, keep that in mind as you go through. It will seem very simplistic to you because of your experience, but you'll see that it will be very useful to other volunteers that you'll be working with. And so I encourage you to find out about it. So our programs are just what is needed. The girls in this country really need the leadership, the focus, the cooperative learning. And one finding of the study for More Than S'mores showed that getting girls outdoors an average of once a month is a key for leadership development. And this was even more striking for girls of lower socioeconomic status. because they might not have other opportunities to get outside. In the rest of their lives, between school and their home life, there are not people that are trying to help them experience this for various reasons. So across our council, this is a big factor for the girls that we have. And I think it's a very important point for you to remember. So often people join Girl Scouts with the anticipation of having picture B happened. This is what the girls look forward to, and this is what many of the parents look forward to. But so often we end up with picture A. We do arts and crafts, we play games, we sing songs, and we never quite get to B. So how do we get there? Like everything else in Girl Scouts, it's about progression. This chart shows you samples of ways that you can move progressively through different steps, no matter what age girls you're working with. You always want to start with the lowest step and start with the most basic information, and as soon as the girls understand that or have mastered that, you move on as soon as you can to the next step. The idea is to keep pushing them a little bit to keep them growing. So you can start with simple things like actually talking about why they need to wear socks when they go hiking. And you can move up to progressive things like outdoor cooking and first aid. You start at your troop meetings. You're going to use the area around your building as an extension of your meeting space whenever possible. You can do your opening or closing outside, and I had a revelation last year when I was first putting this together that glitter is an outdoor activity. It never occurred to me to do something so messy outside, but now it makes total sense because it saves the cleanup inside. The glitter mess quickly disappears. It doesn't do any sort of damage to the outdoors because it's such a tiny particle. So I recommend that you always do glitter outside. You can take a 5-minute action break during each meeting to help the girls focus. And actually, any time you see that their attention is waning, no matter what their age, make them all jump up and march outside, and that fresh air and that natural daylight will reinvigorate them and get them to focus. And during meetings, think about the things that you're working on that they could do in an outdoor way. So you could have them go out and check out the bugs. You can have them measure how many square feet of grass there are, or figure out what kind of tree that is. Start teaching them how to draw maps of the neighborhood. A lot of places have outdoor flagpoles. Use that outdoor flagpole. Let's count how many people are walking and how many are driving. They can start doing a sort of a social study of the environment around them. What media messages are displayed around here? That's one of our cadet programs, the media journey, and they need to become aware of the messages that are out in the world around them. And what can we do to make things better is the question that you always want to ask them, because that's what we want them thinking about, how to make the world a better place. You can, of course, do a trash pickup around the building for each meeting, because a Girl Scout leaves a place cleaner than she found it. And that's a good habit to get them into. There's other things you can do at troop meetings that are more direct outdoor skills. You'll learn about these in your trainings. They also have a lot of information in the adult guides and the girls' journey books and the badges. But these are a sample of the ways that you can bring outdoor skills into your troop meetings. You can work on jewelry, but be teaching them some simple knots as they do macrame or necklaces. You can teach them how to make a foil dinner, but then just cook it in the oven, or set up a charcoal grill out in the parking lot wherever you meet. Our troops meet in a really wide variety of spaces, and some of you have a green space and some of you don't, so I tried to accommodate for that. At the meeting, a classic Girl Scout activity is to have relay races to learn how to roll up a sleeping bag, because there's nothing like finishing up a camping trip and having all the girls in your troop stand there looking confused and asking you for help. You want them to roll up their own sleeping bag. You can challenge teams to list things that they would need to pack into a backpack for different types of outings and have them work together to put the list and then choose a winner and give them imaginary brownie points for winning. They can practice map reading skills and map drawing skills. And this isn't using compasses. This is just learning how to translate the 3D world into a 2D image. It's an important skill, whether you're in the city or the country. Have a simulated first aid emergency during your troop meeting. Start them onto their regular craft or regular activity and have a girl that has been prompted ahead of time to accidentally, I don't know, cut her thumb with the scissors or fall down and twist her ankle, and test them on how they would handle these emergencies. There are search and rescue groups throughout our council in each community. They generally work with law enforcement, and they're often very happy to come in and talk to youth groups and teach the kids how to be outdoors safely. And they're a great resource. So you want to take the next adult training so that you're ready when your girls are ready. You don't want to have them all excited and you don't know the answers, you don't know the process, and you end up giving them false hopes about something, or you end up giving them misinformation that later gets them upset. So you want to be ready so that they can make their choices and you can guide them in that. So to go anywhere outside your regular troop meeting place or time, you need Let's Go 301, Trips and Travel. If you want to actually do overnight camping, staying in a tent or a cabin, cooking outdoors, that kind of thing, you need to take Let's Camp 401. There is a big jump from 301 to 401, and you do want to take your time. Just because your troop is ready to take a field trip to the local zoo or a field trip in your community doesn't mean that you're ready to go camping. And that's one reason that you want to work on the different skills within troop meetings, and you want to be sure and you know that your skills are up to par before you promise them a camping trip. Sometimes new leaders get really excited and that's the first thing they think of doing with the girls. But it takes a while for a troop to learn to work together. The girls need to all learn the skills to take care of themselves and to behave properly in whatever situation you're in. And that is not something you can do within the first couple of months of forming a troop. You do want to make it a progressive process. All of our trainings are listed on the events calendar on our website, but you can also request specialty trainings with your membership manager if you don't see something listed in your area. So once you're really ready to get outdoors, there's resources galore. You always want to start with Volunteer Essentials, which is the National Girl Scout Volunteer Handbook, and Safety Activity Checkpoints, which have precautions listed for individual activities. And they are a great resource, especially the activity checkpoints, because you don't always think of the details when you're planning these things, but you can pull out the information right in front of your girls, pull out the safety activity checkpoint for horseback riding or whatever they decided they want to do, and go through it with them and teach them and model for them that they want to think about these different details, whether it's thinking about the food or thinking about safety issues or thinking about the logistics of how they're going to do it. You want them to learn the process. Then check our council website often, because we offer programs in different areas that are outdoor type programs like archery, hiking, and letterboxing. We've had a big increase in archery classes because we've had more of our staff trained to lead archery. Now our limiting factor is getting enough equipment for all the different parts of our council, but we're working on that. So you should be able to tap into some archery no matter what part of the council you're in at this point. There's a question in my question box asking about the next 401, and I will just say please check our website, and if you don't see one in your area, feel free to send a request to your membership manager or to Monica Hasso, who is our Volunteer Services Director, and she coordinates those. Our council has facilities spread across our 94,000 square miles. We have 11 offices that are staffed around the council, and most of those are available for troops to use either for daytime activities or to sleep over. They vary pretty widely from basic city buildings to really nice fancier offices with more resources, so the rates to use them vary. We do have pretty reasonable rates for troops to use them. We charge more for the public when they want to use them. But the troops, we try to keep the cost really low. There's generally a cleaning deposit that you turn in with your rental payment, and you have to pass inspection to get your deposit back. So you want to check with each office to find out what the terms are for their availability and what the prices are. And then, of course, we have Camp Miter Peak, which is between Fort Davis, Texas and Alpine, Texas. That's actually available for troops, and many people don't realize it. It is a very popular camp. It's used not only for our council-wide programs like the mother-daughter, the father-daughter, and resident camp, but it's also used by large groups that come in and rent it. So what you want to do is plan far ahead if you want to try and use Camp Miter Peak. Feel free to look on our website under Forms and Resources. There's a section at the bottom which has the rental information for the camp, and it talks about who to contact and how to find out what dates it's available. But you can rent just a little portion of what's on this map. For instance, you could rent just the Oaks unit, the Seminole unit, the Apache unit. Oaks is actually the bathhouse. And then you have access to an outdoor kitchen with those units and of course the bathhouse, but you've got the freedom to be able to hike around the camp and do different activities. It's a great way to use Camp Miter Peak. So moving beyond our Girl Scout Council, cities provide outdoor spaces for their citizens. So every community that we're in has different resources for us to use as Girl Scouts. You can do things like making a plan with your troop to visit and make a map of every park in your community and let the girls brainstorm about each park and how they can help to improve them, because those are some great take action projects for different journeys. You can visit local groups that you see are doing outdoor type activities that are beyond Girl Scouts, for instance a gymkhana or a skateboard event that might be going on in your community. There's a lot of local sports teams that play games, and you could go watch a baseball game as a troop and have a great conversation about how sports is the same as Girl Scouts and how it's different. You could go to an outdoor concert. Many communities offer outdoor movies during the summertime, and they offer these things as family events, but it's a really low pressure way for a Girl Scout troop to meet up. If they meet up with their families at these activities, they just all enjoy it together. They can talk amongst themselves and bond, and you don't have to provide the entertainment. You just coordinate that people should show up. You might also be able to go behind the scenes and talk to the performers or talk to the people that run the projector and have your girls experience a little bit more about how that event is put on. You could have a night owl meeting and go outside under a full moon. That's a pretty exciting experience for a kid, especially if you can get somewhat out into the countryside. A rural home is really great for that. And of course there are public events like Luminaria's lightings in the wintertime and outdoor block parties that your troop can tap into. Service units are also great sources for outdoor activities. They can do the things that we listed in the previous slide as a service unit, but what you want to do is you want to attend your local service unit meetings so that you can help plan these hikes and family cookouts. And many service units offer their own day camps or their own twilight camps. Twilight camps are popular in our council because in the summertime the day gets just too hot to really do much, but by evening it's cooled off enough that the kids can really run around and have fun, and they enjoy watching the sun go down and having that little bit of nighttime. You can participate in local community things like trash pickups through Keep America Beautiful, or it'll be listed under your community name in the phone book. You can generally find those pretty easily. They can also be a source of fundraising for a service unit, because some communities will sort of hire nonprofit groups to go out and do specific trash pickups during the year, and then the money can go into the service unit fund to benefit all the girls. And of course, you can team up with just other troops in your same age level to form joint activities that are, just a daisy hike or just a junior experience that are sort of more age appropriate than what you get with an overall general program. And you could use your local KOA campgrounds or places like that where tourists usually will come and stay. You don't have to be a tourist to use them. Of course, we have a lot of great state and national parks throughout our council. There are a total of 21 state parks and 7 national parks. They are a great resource. They have a really wide range of settings. So we have an urban city park in El Paso, Texas, the Chamizal Monument, and we have all sorts of rural state parks throughout our region. Some of them even offer unique opportunities. For instance, the Rockhound State Park in Deming, New Mexico is the only park where you are allowed to actually pick up the rocks and take them home. In most parks, you're not allowed to remove any of the natural surroundings. But in this park, you're actually encouraged to. And of course, they do stargazing programs, bird watching, fishing, all sorts of stuff. The Junior Ranger program is something that I want to make sure everybody knows about. Many of the state parks and the national parks all offer a Junior Ranger program. They have some kind of a self-paced activity book or a handout that the kids need to complete, and they complete it by going through the park and answering the questions. And then when they come back, they usually get a certificate, a Junior Ranger certificate that is just for that park. Sometimes there's a patch available for sale. And if the girls earn those patches, they are worn on the back of their Girl Scout uniform, because even though they're earned, they are not an earned Girl Scout award. They're earned for another group. The other thing that I wanted you to know is that there are some great online resources on the National and State Park websites that are really wonderful for troop leaders to use. They're on specific topics like stargazing or underwater exploration. And you want to check those out. We have national monuments in our council, but we only have 2, and strangely they're both located outside of Las Cruces, New Mexico. But the reason I wanted to feature this is that we have a partnership with the Organ Mountain Desert Peaks National Monument, in which we have a unique Girl Scout badge that can be earned. This is shown on your slide, and it involves a Discover, Connect, Take Action process for different parts of the park, which covers 4 mountain ranges that circle the city. So that's available on our website, and it's also available through the shops in our Las Cruces office and our El Paso office. They have the information on how to earn it, and they have the patches there. The second national monument that we have also outside of Las Cruces is the Prehistoric Trackways National Monument. It's got these amazing dinosaur trackways that are preserved. We're not just talking about a couple of footprints. We're talking about yards and yards of dinosaurs that walked through this muddy river, millions of years ago, and it's preserved. It's really amazing to look at. Girl Scout badges are, of course, a great way to pursue outdoor activities. There are legacy badges in the Girls Guide to Girl Scouting, and each year they add new outdoor badges based on what girls vote on. So this is a great way that we've made this a girl-led program. Some of you are aware of this because your girls have had a chance to vote, but generally, I believe it's in January, or perhaps in December, somewhere in the winter months, they start sending out a notice that the girls should go online and vote for what the theme should be for the next group of badges. And then once they voted on the theme, then they're given a chance the following month to vote on specific topics within that theme. And then there's a couple of months gap while the National Development Team actually creates the badges. And then they make the information available as early as they can in the summer so the girls can start earning them. So at this point we have 2 years worth of outdoor badges for each age level that have been added. And you want to go online and look for those requirements, or you can find them in our shops and download those requirements and help the girls earn those badges. There are lots of national opportunities that Girl Scouts can participate in order to get outside. And I started to list a few in this presentation, but even today I added a whole nother batch that I found out about because somebody sent me some information. So what I'm going to do is create a handout that you'll be able to access on our website. And I'll give you the information about that at the end. And I will list as many of these opportunities as I can so that you have a chance to check them out. So there's a Go Camping America website that has some great resources about camping. There's a National Fishing and Boating Week that helps kids get outdoors and learn about fishing. And we do have a lot of fishing throughout our council. There are often local groups that want to help you teach the kids to fish. The Audubon Society does a census of our bird population every year on December 25th, and they ask citizens to just go outdoors for about an hour and count as many birds and identify them as they can. And they have resources that you can use ahead of time to learn about the birds. And this is a great winter project for troops. You know, we sometimes think about outdoor time as being during the summer, but although the kids are in school during the winter, there's still opportunities to get them outside, and they still need the fresh air, they still need the natural daylight, and a bird count is really an excellent project for a troop or a service unit or a family. There's a National Backyard Campout. Well, they changed the title a little bit. They used to actually call it the National Backyard Campout. Now they've changed it to the Great American Campout, and they do this each year in June. And this is another website that has some great resources to help families and troops learn about camping and prepare for it. And you see that the More Than S'mores report showed that camping is a major way to impact girls, that it's a very memorable experience for them and one of the things they enjoy the most. So I'm going to create a handout with all of these ideas and the information from this webinar, and it's going to be posted on our website at gsdsw.org under Forms and Resources. You can also access the recording of this webinar and the other webinars in our series by going to our website and looking at the top of the page for the little icon that stands for YouTube. And when you click on that, it will take you directly to the page that has all of our YouTube videos. So now I'm going to take a look and see if anybody has any questions. I know I threw a lot of information and ideas at you. And let's give everybody just a couple of minutes to think. You don't have to ask a question. Okay, well, everybody seems pretty happy. Feel free to reach out to our staff with any questions that you think of after this, and if you send it to your membership manager, they can forward the question to me. Well, thank you, Melissa, for taking the time to join our webinar. I wanted to share this picture again because getting the girls from A to B is a journey that is going to impact them for a lifetime in so many different ways that you can't even begin to guess. So this is our goal. Thank you for taking this journey with your girls. Everybody have a good evening.